All right, today we're going to go over some of the student nutrition services that are available for your students in the district. So first we need to talk about what it means to be food insecure, not knowing where we're going to get our next meal, economic, social condition with limited uncertainty of adequate food. 1 out of every 5 children who lives in the US is food insecure. That's 16 million children. The highest prevalence is with single mothers. Blacks and Hispanics tend to be a little bit higher than any ethnicity as well. Why is this important? We know that children that are food insecure are going to have higher rates of colds, hospitalizations, headaches from being hungry, stomach aches from being hungry, more nurses visits, more vitamin and mineral deficiencies because they're not getting the fruits and vegetables they need. If we're not getting the fruits and vegetables we need, the healthy fats that we need, we'll have some developmental issues. Also increasing our risk of obesity and being overweight because they're consuming lower quality of foods that sometimes are cheaper than the fruits and vegetables. So how can we help these kids? If there's so many kids that food insecurity and they're not privileged, underprivileged kids, there's got to be some resources for them that we can give them to help them with whatever we can while they're at school. Hence, student nutrition services. So 60,000 meals a day are served in 115 schools. So the main goal of student nutrition services is to focus on real food, whole food that's not packed with preservatives or frozen. We're looking for things that are fresh and contain fruits and vegetables, lean meats, whole grains, a balanced diet. There's a lot of restrictions given to the student nutrition services on how much sodium, calories, saturated fat, no trans fats, amount of sugar is in the different foods that are provided to the students. So the standards are met by grade level and the breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snack. The student nutrition services, the meals that are provided to students have to fall within those guidelines to be reimbursed. So we know that they're hitting the standards with the meals that are being provided at the school. So when we look at what's available, there's breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. There is even going to be a seamless summer meals available during the summertime for students. We can look at the menus online. We'll look at this in a second for middle and high school. Parents must fill out an application to receive the reduced cost for breakfast and lunch if the student's not going to one of the community eligibility provision schools. So I'll show you where the list of those schools are, but if the student's not going to one of those schools, the parents must fill out an application prior to receiving free meals. Supper programs, if the school participates with a supper program, any student can receive a meal. They don't have to participate in the breakfast and lunch. Also, siblings who are not enrolled in that school are allowed to receive the meal. The student or the sibling must have to pick up their own meal. When we're looking at pricing, it's $1.50 for breakfast, $3 for lunch for the regular price. As I had mentioned before, there's specific standards that have to be met with the student nutrition services meals provided. Every meal must contain a protein for lunch and dinner, protein, a vegetable, a fruit, and milk, and a grain. The student must pick at least 3 of those, so they can't pick only grains or only protein. They must pick 3 different things. One of those has to be a fruit or a vegetable. So we must have a fruit or a vegetable, protein, grain, or milk in there as well to be reimbursed. What happens if there's an allergy? So if your child or your student comes in and they say they have an allergy, no problem. They just need to get the medical statement request filled out by their physician, verified, and there will be accommodations made. There is lists of allergen reports on the student nutrition services menu with all of the menu items and what is contained in them with those top allergens. So it'll say every single menu item that is being offered this month with what is in each one of them so that a parent could easily pull that up and say, okay, we can't have the muffin because it has eggs in it, for instance. Also, with kids' diabetes, there's carbohydrate counts down towards the bottom of the medical page with the carbohydrate counts for each meal, and it's listed by grade level. If you have someone that doesn't necessarily have an allergy and they're eligible to pay full price for the meals, accommodations are discretionary. They have to fill out that medical statement request that has to be authorized by a physician to get the special accommodations. All right, one of the best things that you guys have offerings, which is really awesome, community eligibility provision. So this is a federal provision allowing schools to offer free meals to all students. So parents no longer have to fill out the application online, entering in how much money they make to see if the student qualifies for free meals. If the school is noted at high risk, that with greater than 40% of identified students, they can be a part of this CEP. So the districts can group the schools to reach an average of 40%. That's fine. But definitely these schools have a high risk of students, a large percentage of students that would have qualified for the free meal. So this takes away from the burden of the household because now they're not having to fill out the application, where the school is no longer collecting the applications, makes it simple, takes away the stigma from needing free meals. If every single person is needing a free meal, then no one really tells who actually needs it and who doesn't. So if everyone's getting it, it's not going to make the student feel bad who really needs it. Looking at the research, 29% increase in participation with breakfast and lunch with schools implementing this. It's implemented in 54 schools in your district. You're guaranteed reimbursement. There's different strategies with encouraging breakfast consumption by having the grab and go carts, breakfast in the classroom. So we're encouraging students to have breakfast, also allowing them, some students, maybe they're running late or with the bus schedule, they're not able to get to the hot lunches as quickly. The second chance breakfast would be a good thing for them, to be able to still have some type of breakfast, even if it's not the full on breakfast items. So with a grab and go breakfast, there's typically a different menu than the hot breakfast. We'll look at those in a second, but definitely know that this is a great thing to encourage your students. If you guys are a part of one of these schools, encourage your students to take advantage of the free meals that are available. That way we know that they're getting the fruits, vegetables they need, at least with the lunch. Next thing, the Seamless Summer Program. So this is going to be offered in schools. Not every school is participating. So the main thing for you guys to do is, once this list comes out in May, identify the list of schools that are participating. Your students would have to go to a school that is participating to get the free meals. It is a first come, first serve basis. So any child can participate. They don't have to go to that school. Their sibling doesn't have to go to that school. They just need to be under the age of 18, go to the school that is participating, and be one of the first people before they run out of food to get the free meals. If you have questions or concerns about this, you can email Sandy. Her contact information is at the bottom. I'm going to show you where we can find the list once it comes out in May. This would be a good activity to do with your students to identify what school is closest to their house, so that since they're not going to be coming from your school, identify what school is closest to their house if your school is not participating. If you guys want more information, Robin is a great contact to reach out to. She will do a workshop to do taste testing to give you more details about what's available as far as the student nutrition services. We're going to dive into the Student Nutrition Services website now to see. So if we look here, this is your Student Nutrition Services website. I'm going to go to just the front page here, and it just shows that you're getting fresh fruits and vegetables. There's hot breakfast. There's also the grab and go breakfast available. We're serving locally organic fruit once a month, which is awesome. A lot of guidelines on what is served to these kids. So it's not just random food. There is a method behind the madness of the meals. So if we go to menus and nutrition info, this is going to be the list of the options. We can scroll down to middle and high school to see what the grab and go breakfast in the classroom is versus the hot breakfast, cold breakfast, and the supper, hot and cold supper, as well as snacks. So we can see here specific menus. We're looking at down here, breakfast in the classroom. There's new items that are available as well. So if we just take a look at, for instance, April, we'll go to middle and high school, grab and go breakfast. We can just pull it up and we can see what is available. DF, dairy free. So if you have someone that has dairy allergy, dairy free would be the options that they would choose from. So here we can pull up, this is the grab and go breakfast items. We can go back and look at the hot breakfast, which is going to be a different option in the cafeteria. Next thing we want to look at is nutrient info and the medical statement that I was referring to earlier. So here's the medical statement. They're going to have to download. Their physician's going to have to fill that out so that they can be accommodated by the student nutrition services and get those special meals. Allergen reports, here we are. I'm going to click on that so you can see bagel with cream cheese. What does it have in it? There's dairy in the cream cheese, also wheat in the bagel component. The bagel, it tells you it has the wheat, the cream cheese has the dairy. Blueberry bagel and cream cheese, again, so going down, we can see all of the different nutrition info and what is in there. So if you have students with allergies, they can easily pull up what they can have and what they cannot have based on their allergies. Another great thing down here is our calorie counts and the carbohydrate counts for, let's go to high school here. So we can see how much carbs is in each of the items. So carbohydrate counts, if they ate the full breakfast, we will be at 33 carbs. When we're carbohydrate counting, I'm sure your students are very familiar with how many their insulin to carbohydrate ratio. If they're type 1 diabetic, giving themselves insulin to cover how many carbs they have, but they would just take this number and then divide it by their insulin to carb ratio to figure out how many units they need to have of insulin. This is a great resource for them to know so they don't have to just guess on how many carbs is in whatever food they're eating. If we go to the meal applications here down and we can look at this meal application, you can apply it online right here. So this is going to be for the schools that are not participating in that community eligibility provision. This is where the parents are going to have to fill out to see if they qualify for reduced or free meals. So we're going to go here. Next thing we can look at is pricing. Some schools are using School Cafe for the pricing, or for you to upload money and then them use the School Cafe app to pay online. Other ones are using My Payment Plus. So both options, either School Cafe or My Payment Plus. So now kids aren't having to go with bringing cash with them. They can upload it to their account. Here are the list of schools participating in the community provision. So we have middle school, high schools here, also frequently asked questions. The main thing with this is that it takes away the stigma from the kids who actually need the free meals and might be afraid to get it because they don't want to be judged by their friends. If everyone's getting a free meal, you can't really pick out who actually needs it or not. There's less lines. They're much faster because there's no longer collecting of money and that money exchange. It's a very smooth operation as far as being able to actually get the meals. So we have that. Looking down here, there's just a little bit more information about breakfast. There's a great video here about grab and go breakfast in high schools. I have it in the lesson plans for you guys to share it with your students, but it just really encourages using the grab and go breakfast option for kids that might not want to go sit in a cafeteria, might want to socialize with their friends, or they're running a little bit low on time, they can just do one of these grab and go breakfast options. After school nutrition, here's the supper options, or the supper programs available for different schools. Down here, this is going to be the summer meal program. So here is where we can find out the list of schools once they post it in May. Find the list of schools. Remember, this is first come, first serve. Not every school is going to participate, so we really need to make sure that our students know what schools are participating so they know what school to go to get their free meal if your school is not doing it. So make sure that we take a look at this before school gets out this year so that your students have a game plan, especially the ones that really need it, that they are able to get some meals during the summer since they're not going to be able to get the school breakfast and lunch since they won't be coming to school. So take a look at this. Guys, there's a lot of great resources in here. The lesson for the student nutrition services, the activity is going to really be diving into this website, helping your students kind of navigate, learn some of the different things that are listed here, some of the different programs that are available, some of the different resources, finding out what menu items. It's really important that they know where to go to see what they have available to them as far as their preferences with meals, as well as if there's any medical issues, so that they know to fill out that medical statement by their physician. Finding the school that is giving the meals during the summer is going to be really important too. If you guys have any questions at all, definitely reach out to Robin. She's going to be a great contact for you guys. If you have any questions about the summer, Sandy's going to be a great person for the summer meals to reach out to. So 2 contact information emails here to reach out to these people if you have any questions. Take a look at this website. It's really a great tool, a great resource, lots of awesome things on there. I'm going to also put 2 handouts that Robin gave me to give to you guys. She encouraged me to let you guys know about the workshops, and she's happy to come out and talk to each school individually about what services are offered, as well as do taste testings of the different food items available. So I think, the main thing looking at all the services available for you guys is we have to kind of get away from thinking of the old lunch lines and the canned foods that were available maybe when we were growing up at the school lunch, and know that they really are doing the best that they possibly can, giving fresh fruits and vegetables, no preservatives, really sticking to strict guidelines, making sure that the meals that are provided are the highest quality possible for these students. There's 60,000 meals delivered daily to students. So it's working. Encourage your students to take advantage of the services available, especially if we're at a school that is giving everyone the food items for free. Less steps for the parents because they're not going to have to fill out the application, but giving them all the resources they need to take advantage of what's available to them is really important. So have fun going through that scavenger hunt for the student nutrition services. I think it'll be a really good tool for your students to learn a little bit more about the website and know what resources are out there. Encourage you guys to talk to Robin to get a taste testing set up, and please let us know if you have any questions.